Some people told me to be grateful. But why should I? Life is fucking shit. It's another day where I wake up deeply dissatisfied about everything that's happening in my life. I have no reason to be grateful for. Nothing is going the way that I want it to go in my life. The negative thoughts in my head constantly reappear and tell me that I'm not good enough for anything. There are other people who are doing exactly the same thing as me, and they're happy. And I'm wondering, what the hell do they have that I don't have? I don't get it. I don't think I ever will get it. Up until I sat down and actually wrote a couple of things that I'm grateful for. Because the thing is, when I'm in this negative mind state, when I am allowing the negative thoughts to take over, of course, I have many reasons to not be happy about anything. There are many reasons to complain about. Look at the news. The news is filled with negativity. But is life only negative? Just sitting down and expressing gratitude just gives me this feeling that, okay, things are not that bad as they seem to be, or they're not that bad as my mind tells that it is. It's so easy to get caught up in the negativity that is around in the world. Most people actually don't know how to express positive energy. All they know what to do is to complain. And I became a product of my environment because most of the people I encounter, they complain. I don't know what it is. Either it's a mentality that is relevant to Belgium, but I've spoken to many different people around the world, and most countries, most people who live inside of a country, they have that typical tendency to complain when something is going wrong. But here comes the but. Why don't we start expressing gratitude for the things that we have already? Things may not be perfect, and things are definitely not perfect in my life, but I managed to make myself happier, to give myself a positive outlook on life and be optimistic about everything that is happening. Am I the richest person that I want to be? No, not yet. Do I already have the business that I want to run? No, not yet. Do I still have to work a full-time job and do I not want to work it? Yeah, of course, but what are the things that I can be grateful for? Okay, I can be grateful for the fact that I can provide for my family. I can be grateful for the fact that due to working a full-time job, I'm challenged, and the challenges that I experience right there, they will turn me into a better man, and that will then reflect into the business that I'm trying to build. The whole texture of life changes when you allow yourself to focus more on the good things of life, to focus more on the positivity that is around. The amount of years that I've spent focusing on the negative things made me depressed. It made me unhappy. It made me not have the energy and not have the drive to make something out of myself. You know, I want to be the greatest version of myself. I'm an ambitious man. I have goals that I want to achieve. And for many years when I was stuck in this depressed state of inactivity, of not doing anything, of smoking weed constantly because I thought life is the way that it is. I have no control over anything. I have no control over my emotions. I have no control over the outcomes. That pessimistic mindset just kept me small. It kept me living this life that is below my means. I never once expressed gratitude for anything. There was a time when I was 15 years old and somebody baked me a cake. It was an ex of mine that I had back then, and she baked me a cake. She brought it to me. And the first thing that I said was, "There's not enough sugar in it." Instead of saying thank you, instead of expressing my gratitude for the fact that she baked me a cake that took her hours to bake, and I couldn't even say thank you. For many years of my life, I was somebody who didn't have a lot of people around of him. I was somebody who people didn't even want to talk to. Why? Most likely because of the energy that I had. And upon reflection, and upon looking back at everything that I did and the person that I was, I could clearly see that I wasn't somebody that people wanted to have around of them, due to the negative energy that I was constantly expressing. I personally wouldn't want to be surrounded by somebody who's constantly negative, who is filled with hatred. It took me years to realize this, but we can change that right now. Grab a piece of paper and just write 10 things down that you are grateful for. You will experience that it's quite hard to do that. It's quite hard to express gratitude. Just to even say 3 things will be very challenging. It can be anything. I'm grateful for the toilet paper that is here. I am grateful for this mug that my wife gave me that I can constantly drink from every morning. I'm grateful for this pen that I can use every morning when I write down the things that I'm grateful for. It can be in these small things, and what this allows you to do is that it just shifts your perspective into a more positive one. Because you're not trying to look for the things that you can hate. You're not trying to look for the things that you can complain about. Complaining is the worst thing that you can do. When a challenge appears in your life, when something difficult appears in your life, what's the instinctual thing that we do? I don't want to do this. Fuck this, man. Imagine a life where you could be like, yeah, let's go. Let the challenge come, we'll deal with it. I'll make sure that it happens the way that it's supposed to go. I'll make sure that I will learn from this. Will you still feel like a bit challenged, and will you still feel like some sort of, how could I say it? Will you still feel like some sort of emotions related to it? Yes, of course, they will happen. But the way that you see it, the way that your perspective is surrounded to a challenge, surrounded to something that's difficult, surrounded to something that is perceived as negative, the better you will deal with it. One of the most crucial things to do is to change your perspective. Your perspective starts with yourself, with the way that you see every little thing in life. You may not even be aware of it, which I wasn't. I wasn't aware of how negative I was. I wasn't aware of how pessimistic I was up until I literally sat myself down and started to become more aware of the complaints that I had about everything. Back when I was a shift leader in retail, there was this young kid who He was a fun guy. It was fun to talk to, but he was absolutely negative about everything. When you told him, "How are you?" he said, "Bad." When you asked him, "How was your day?" "Bad." "What are you going to do tonight?" "Nothing, life is shit." Like, whoa, bro, okay, that's nice. Automatically, you'll become repulsed because you don't want to have that kind of energy around of you. For some reason, it's a defense mechanism. There's nobody who says like, yeah, I want to have somebody like that around me, right? And if you respect yourself somewhat, of course you don't. So you have to make sure that gratitude is part of your day. Just in everything. If you don't like to write things down, at least say them out loud. It's not about the practice. It's not about how you do it. It's about doing it. You just simply have to do it. My depression, the root of my depression, was because of the fact that I saw things very negatively. And the way that my perspective was on life is how it influenced me so drastically. In ways that it led me to smoke weed, in ways that it led me to date somebody that I didn't want to date, in ways that I slept in for many hours because I thought it was all hopeless. But it's not. Changing your perspective allows you to see the opportunities that life gives you every day. One of the things that I tell myself frequently when I wake up is that I'm grateful that I'm alive. There are many people who die every day in their sleep. They never get the chance to even say goodbye to their family members. And I'm one of those that can actually do that. I can kiss my mother on the cheek. I can see my wife. I can hug my father. I can stand here and record this YouTube video. There's an insane amount of happiness that is involved when I say these things. I'm one of the fortunate ones that can stand here. And if you're watching this video, you are one of the fortunate ones as well. This is something that I tell myself every morning. This little bit of gratitude that I just expressed, no matter what challenge appears in my life, I know already that I started my day with something positive. Because of course, there are challenges. Of course, you will feel emotions. Of course, a lot of things can happen. But it's absolutely crucial that regardless of what comes your way, that you learn how to deal with it, that you learn how to change your perspective. I hope this video has been of value for you. I want to wish you a very nice day. By the way, if you want to learn how to manage your emotions to make better decisions, click the first link in the description box or go down to the comment section. Remember that you are 100% responsible for the results in your life. Make the hard decision today, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright? Bye bye.